welcome to Carrying On with TravelSMG. I'm Stephanie McCracken with Travel Show Marketing Group, joined by my lovely co-host Kelley Wright, one of our travel agent relations managers. The goal of this podcast is to take you beyond the form and give you an insider look into our events and the travel industry as a whole. Today, we are going to focus on goal setting, especially as it relates to attending in-person events and conferences. So Kelley, thanks for chatting with us today about goals.
Absolutely. I love to make my goals.
I want to start first with you just giving a little bit more background on your journey as a travel advisor and how that background has now come full circle with what you're doing with us here at TravelSMG, especially because we're going to be talking about events. We're going to be talking about some goals you set. And as a travel agent yourself, I think that history and that relationship really means a lot to everybody who's trying to look into more information about our events.
Absolutely. So, I started as an agent in 2017, and my first event was the Miami event with Travel Show Marketing Group. And I think that when I first went to that event, I 100% didn't have any goals set. I didn't even know what I was really walking into. But over the years, at all of the different events I've attended, especially some of the ones more recently, I've realized how important that is and how it's really important to have those goals set. And depending on the type of person you are, I'm that person that when I don't have those goals set, I really do come home and I don't look at the stuff right away, or I look at it, months and months later, and I don't remember what half of it means. So I think that as an advisor that's been doing this for 9 years now, I've found that having those goals and following through when I return is really helpful.
Okay. So we're going to go through around 5 goals, and some of these are very specific to an event you just attended, our amazing destination experience in Fairbanks, but some are going to translate to other events, and we're going to also talk about some different goals that might apply to different people at different career stages. So let's just start with one of your ideal goals for an event.
So I think that one of the goals that I really try to make, and this is because of the type of person I am as far as social media goes, but I'm not great at posting on it. So my goal while I'm at an event and prior to going is to post and let my clients know that, yes, I am going to an event and I'm going to be networking and meeting with suppliers to be able to help, with their trips and with their future trips and things like that, to be able to get more knowledge. So for me, for when I went to Fairbanks, it was to make sure I posted at least 3 times while I was there. And I was successful with that. And one of the things that I also do with that is I will set some alerts on my phone and stuff to just be like, hey, did you do this before I attend? So the weeks leading up to it, I'll post something saying I'm going or on my way there or whatever. But then while I'm traveling, I'll have little alerts that will come up on my phone to say, hey, did you remember to do this? And then the same thing when I get home. So if it's, whatever works for that person and whatever you think is really best for you. But in general, for me, while I'm at an event, I try to do 3 times there and then 3 times when I get home.
Okay. And, one of the great things about a TravelSMG event is we have that photo circle available throughout all of our events. So if you miss something or if you have a blurry shot, but somebody else got a better shot, you can always go into that photo circle and get that good shot that you can use on social media to show your clients and potential clients that you're really investing in what you can do for them and what you can offer.
Yes, absolutely. I love the photo circle for so many reasons, but I think that really hits the nail right there, is that the fact that if you're doing a site inspection on part of one of our events, or if you're going into something and you're not that person that either remembers to always take pictures, or you take pictures and you have other people's heads in them, or you're trying to take a video at a site inspection and you're the last one to enter a room, it's always nice to have the options of what other people post.
Okay, so beyond social media, what's another event that either makes sense for an industry event or something that you personally have set as a goal for yourself?
If once you get past that whole social media thing, I think one of the big things too for an event that I've done in the past and I've found really, really useful, I didn't have this on my Alaska one just because it didn't make sense for me, but in the past was to find somebody at an event, find someone that you've never met before, make sure you're reaching out and talking to people. And I don't necessarily mean just suppliers in that stance. I mean other agents. I personally have found that meeting other agents at these types of events and things like that have really helped my career. And then when I get home, if I'm really like, if it worked well and I talk to them a lot, then we can follow up when we get home and maybe talk about the things that we're going to make sure that we do as far as goals and stuff go. And I've had people that I talk to on a, semi-regular basis, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is that works for us, just to touch base on how things are going in the industry and with our clients.
Yeah, that's great. Like a little accountability buddy. And even meeting somebody new, introducing yourself to somebody new at an event and trying to form that relationship could be helpful in all of your other goals too. Somebody to help you with social media, if you need somebody to hold the phone while you record something, or if you need another person if you're trying to record a reel, just those connections really do make a difference.
Absolutely. And I think that one of the things too is, when I first attended Miami, I've said it a couple of times, like I was just so nervous about it, walking in there, not knowing anyone. But you have to remember that there's other people that are in that same exact position, right? So if you walk up and you talk to somebody, 9 times out of 10, that person is not going to be mean or rude or anything else to you. They're probably looking for someone to talk to too, and they probably don't know anybody at the event. Or if they do, they can introduce you to other people. And that right there just makes life so much easier.
All right, hit me with another goal. What's next?
All right, the next one. I really like the idea of business card holders. So when I was just recently at this Fairbanks event, I was talking to a couple different agents and I noticed that they had these little books, and it was the top would be where the business card would go and the bottom was where they would write notes. And I found it to be like such an idea that, was so easy to come up with, but so helpful at the same time. Because personally, I go to events, I get people's business cards and they end up at the bottom of one of the bags that I get. Sometimes I write on the back of them if they're talking or somewhere else, but usually when I'm writing about a supplier, it's in a notebook or something like that and not with that business card. So if you could just put that business card on the top, write about that person below it. And, a great time to do that for something like Las Vegas would be the roundtable meetings, or if you're at one of our other events, the one-to-one meetings, it would also be perfect with. And then you can kind of write with what your questions are, or when you go back, you can remember what that person said and things about them. And it would be really helpful when you go ahead and do a follow-up potentially later on, or try to help you come up with some more questions for when you're walking around in Vegas and looking at all the vendors.
Yeah, organization is definitely key. And I think, there's usually 2 types of people. There's one person who likes notebooks, hard copies of everything, pen and paper. And then there's another group of people who prefers like digital only, no paper trails, anything like that. But you can do that both ways. You can get a little folio set up that you talked about, or you can take a photo and put it in a document and type on your iPad. There's definitely different ways to approach it, but either way, that organization is definitely going to be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I almost think that, if you don't want to have the paper and everything, I understand that, but you can almost do both of those. If you had that book and you had the papers in there and write it out while you're there, and then when you get home, you can easily transfer that to one of the apps or something like that. So then you have them all together now in a better spot. So it's easier to access it later versus just having it in the notebook. But I just think that that's just great to have for that situation.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay. One more goal. What you got?
All right. So, well, this is kind of social media though. When I was on for Alaska, one of them was to also use my GoPro, right? So in the past, I had used my GoPro a lot and never did anything with it. It just lived on my GoPro. So when I was in Fairbanks, my goal was to actually use my GoPro, upload it to the GoPro app, and then post about it afterwards. And just yesterday, I was having my daughter work on some things for me to be able to post on my pages with some of the things that I had. So yes, I'm a little bit away from the event and things like that, but that's still part of my goal and I'm still working towards it. So that's just to shows you that you don't have to do something exactly the second you get back, right? There's times you can set up a schedule that works perfectly for you. And by having my list of goals next to me in my office, I'm looking at them constantly for whatever that next event is or whatever the event is that I just went to.
All right, you said something about a list of goals. Let me see that list. What does it look like for your world?
This is my list. It goes on this whiteboard. Goals for
Perfect.
Fairbanks. And then it walks through each one.
And you had mentioned the GoPro, and obviously that one's very specific. And made perfect sense for Alaska. But the way you could think about it for something else is learn a new piece of technology, or just any type of specific goal. Like, I want to make sure I create 3 reels or develop content so I can produce reels in the future. Any type of goal like that. You don't have to take it so literally. It's like use a GoPro, but just what you can do to enhance your social media, learn something new, anything like that.
And I think that was more so too for the pictures. Like, just make sure that what I'm doing and what I'm taking while I'm there with the intention of doing these things for is happening. So like with the GoPro, yes, like when I was there, I got some great GoPro footage, but I also have some amazing pictures. And in the past, I would just, maybe I'd post 1 or 2, but I just wasn't great at doing it all the time. And I know that there are some agents out there, and, you know, the people that are watching might be that person and awesome at posting, but you also might find that person that's similar to how I am with that stuff and gets nervous or forgets to post or gets overwhelmed, and then it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. So let's talk about one more goal, kind of like a bigger overarching theme that will really apply to all of our events, but especially Las Vegas Travel Agent Forum. What goal is that?
Yeah, so I think that as far as that stuff goes, it's the preparation ahead of time, right? So prior to an event, you will have a list of all of the suppliers. So at Vegas, you'll have a list of all the suppliers that are going to be on that trade show floor. Yeah. You can get it from the website, right? So you just go through that list ahead of time. Look to see what suppliers you think are going to be perfect for your business and kind of rank them and figure out who you want to really meet with. So for me in this situation, and this year I'm going to do it for Vegas, my goal is going to be to talk to 10 suppliers that I really want to make sure that I've never met before too, right? So yeah, you can talk to people that you've met before, but that's not fair. So talk to 10 new suppliers and have it work towards your business and try to figure out how you're going to make it work for you. And the way to do that is to look through that list that's on the website and then go through and I think rank people and then figure out where they are on the floor too. And when you're that way, when you're walking around, you'll know where to go. And if that person has a line when you get there, go to another person and then come back to them, right? There's a lot of people that will be around them that you can talk to, etc. So I think that really will work well. And that's kind of how I'm planning on attacking Vegas this year.
Yeah, on the Las Vegas Travel Agent Forum website, which is travelagentforum.com, we have the floor plan, which is kind of like a map. And then we have the full exhibitor listing. So you can kind of use that, find the ones that are new to you, find the ones that you want to reconnect with, and then map it out on that floor plan. So you kind of know where you're going to go, what else is going to be there, and who else you can see. Because if you walk into that trade show floor without any preparation, it's going to be very overwhelming for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with that.
All right. Anything else on the goal front that you'd like to touch base with? Some maybe just another goal that might not necessarily work for a established agent, but better for a new agent, or just depending on what niche you're in, what type of goals might be swapped out.
Well, so I think too, as far as that goes, like one, finding that friend is helpful, right? But you can use that friend to help you with some of those things too. They might have the same niche as you. They might, you might be able to walk through that with them. But also, if you're new and you've never done this before, as far as what we were just talking about with going through and finding the suppliers that you think will help you, also, I mean, anybody should be doing this, but especially someone that's new might not think about it as much. Follow up with those suppliers afterwards. So in my opinion on that one is to take, you say you want to talk to 10 new people. Out of that, figure out how many people you want to make sure that you're following up with on a regular basis after as a new agent, especially. Like, who do you want to talk to? What do you want to talk to them about? And how are they going to help you with your business? These suppliers and these BDMs are really there to help you with that part of it and helping you increase your sales and things like that, and focus on that niche if that's what you want.
Yeah, great. So obviously, we feel very strongly about live events and conferences, and we want people to get the most out of them. So we feel strongly about these goals and preparation and getting yourself organized in advance of it. And I think some of the things you've outlined have really been helpful. And, we want to see as many bodies as we can at the Las Vegas Travel Agent Forum this year in May. And you can go to the travelagentforum.com website and register, get signed up, take a look at all the great exhibitors that are going to be there. It's going to be a huge trade show floor, global travel suppliers, a lot of new ones this year, a lot of the classic ones from years past as well to reconnect with. So with that, thank you, Kelley, so much for joining with me today as we talked about these goals. And I'm looking forward to our next topic when we connect next on Carrying On with TravelSMG.